Okay.
The good thing is it's being recorded so I can live stream it if I need to later on.
Yeah.
Here's somebody. Okay. Hi, Angel. Okay. One more minute and we'll get started. I like that picture, Angel. Cute. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us for this virtual home buyers event. My name is Eugenia Thompson. I'm a realtor. I wanted to go ahead and give Candace a chance to introduce herself and tell us more about her and where she is in the home buying process. And then I'll go ahead and turn it over to Tara, and she can give us more information about loans and the loan products. And then I'll end with how I contribute to the process. So, Miss Candace, can you tell us more about yourself?
Hello,
Give us an
Candace.
introduction.
Candace, school teacher from Arlington area. Where I am in the home buying process, I plan on trying to purchase a home by, 2021. So this year I'm gonna take my time to learn about the home buying process, to pay down any debt that I have, and start building on my savings.
Okay. So what areas are you looking at?
Everyone's not muted, so I can't hear you when you speak.
Okay, I'm sorry. What area are you looking to move?
I want to purchase in Arlington.
Arlington. Okay, you did say that. Okay. All right. Thank you. And Miss Latara, you want to go and take over? Give an introduction. You're muted. You're muted.
Okay, now. Okay. So my name is Latara Barnes. I am a loan officer at Bank of America. I actually started the mortgage industry back in 2008 at Countrywide before it got bought out by Bank of America. And I left and realized that Bank of America is the best place to work, so I came back. So I've been back for 2 years now. I personally specialize in low to moderate income clients. And the reason for that is because of where my branch is located. I get a really good mix of clients coming in, but low to moderate income clients are not necessarily clients that don't make a lot of money. People get misconstrued and they assume that because you say low to moderate income, that means that you're low income or you have to buy a house in a bad area or something like that. That's not true at all. Most areas in the Dallas area is considered low to moderate income. So low to moderate income pretty much just means that the household income in that area is $88,000. Now, I don't know who calls $88,000 low income, but people, if the median household income in that area, if it's $88,000 or less, that's considered a low to moderate income home. So what Bank of America has is we have 2 grant programs, and keyword is grants. For grants are not, they're not payback. They're not second liens added to the end of your loan. They're money that Bank of America is giving to our clients to initiate more home buying efforts. Most people, their excuse for not being able to purchase a home is that they don't have money, or they can't save up enough for the down payment and the closing costs. So what Bank of America has done is that they're offering up to $10,000, 3%. So it's 3% up to $10,000 for your down payment and $7,500 for your closing costs. What that means is if you buy a house that's about 330,000, you'll get the full 10,000. If you buy a house that's 100,000, you'll get the 3%, which will be 3,000. And then we'll also cover all of your closing costs. Closing costs typically don't run 7,500. Closing costs in most cases run about 3,000 or 4,000. So the rest of that money, we use it for paying down your points so you can get a much lower interest rate. Like I'm closing a guy on Monday. He gets the down payment assistance. He gets closing cost assistance. He's got an interest rate at 3%, and he's getting back $1,500 at closing. So he doesn't have to bring a penny to closing. So that's kind of the purpose of this program. Now the program is very simple. Either you purchase a home in a low to moderate income tract, or your income is under 68,450 for most counties. That's it. It's that simple. So either the house qualifies or your income qualifies. If the house qualifies, then your income can go up, or your qualifying income for whoever's on the application can go up as high as 125,000. If the house qualifies. If the house doesn't qualify and you're buying a house in Southlake and but your income qualifies, then you automatically qualify for the closing costs grant. Down payment grant is a little different, and this is kind of to you, Candace. Down payment grant is not in Arlington yet. It's not in the Fort Worth cities yet. It's only in the Dallas cities, Dallas County cities. So any city that pretty much touches Dallas, any city surrounding Dallas. The grant, the closing cost is in Arlington, but not the down payment. Now, if you got a house in Grand Prairie, like I used to live in Grand Prairie off Lake Ridge and Camp Wisdom, that technically was considered Dallas County. But if I would have went, my kids graduated from high school, which was right around the corner, which was technically considered a Mansfield school district in the city of Arlington. So if you would go 2 blocks down on Camp Wisdom, you're in Tarrant County. So if you bought a house in Grand Prairie, but it was technically Dallas County, you could qualify for both grants. But if you buy a house in Arlington, you'll only qualify for the closing cost grant. Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. So for you personally, with the closing cost grant can be combined with any of our loan programs. The down payment grant can only be combined with our conventional 3% down program. So what that means is that you would have to be able to qualify for a conventional loan. As long as you can qualify for a conventional loan, you're buying in Dallas County or a Dallas city, and your credit scores typically need to be about 650, 660, then you will be able to qualify for both grants. If for whatever reason, if you buy in Arlington, you have to go with an FHA loan with 3.5% down, you would have to pay your 3.5%, but we will pay all your closing costs. We will pay your upfront PMI. We will pay all of that for you. So when you come to closing, you'll only pay for your escrows, which is your taxes and insurance, and you'll pay for your 3.5% down. Everything else we'll cover for you. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Okay, so do you have any questions based off of that so far?
No.
Okay. So that's pretty much how the grants work. The grants are very, very simple, especially the closing cost grant, because again, either it's the income or the property. With the down payment, it's either the income or the property, but you have to be able to qualify for a conventional loan with 3% down. Now, what we've heard is that they are getting ready to open that up soon. And because you're looking to buy some point in time this year, by the time you're ready to buy, it may open up to Fort Worth or it may open up to some other loan programs. But for right now, down payment will only be on conventional loans as well as in the Dallas city areas. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty much that simple.
To ask a question, Tara, are they able to stack other
Yes.
programs like T-Shack and other
Yep.
programs like that? So where you all don't actually offer it, they can get it back.
Bank of America doesn't work with T-Shack. We haven't worked with T-Shack in a while.
Okay.
However, we do work with City of Dallas. I'm doing along with a guy right now who's got a down payment assistance grant with City of Dallas. And he has down payment with us. and he has closing cost assistance. So we do work with the other cities, Fort Worth and some of those other counties or state or city organizations, but we don't work with TSHAC. So we used to be working with TSHAC, but for some reason, I guess a few years ago, we're not connected with them anymore.
Okay. But there are other programs that they can
Yep.
stack along with your program.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, okay. Hi, Ebony. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
How are you?
I'm well. I think you missed the part about the
I don't mind going over it
did.
again.
And that's fine. My Zoom wouldn't update, so I was waiting on it to update.
That's okay. So, you don't mind going back over it again?
No,
Okay.
I don't mind going over again.
Okay.
So welcome,
you.
Ebony. We thank you for making it with us. So we were just talking about the down payment assistance grants and the closing cost grants that Bank of America offers. And again, the program is grants that you don't have to pay back. You will sign one piece of paper that qualifies you for the grant, and that one piece of paper pretty much just states that you do not have to pay it back. Now, what I didn't mention is the closing costs. You will get a 1099 at the end of the year for the down payment. So you will get a 1099 at the end of the year for that, but that's it. So it's a grant that you don't have to pay back. You don't have to add to the end of your loan. You don't have to stay in your house a certain amount of time. You can go ahead and rent it 3 months after you move in. There are no restrictions at all whatsoever to the grant. As long as you qualify or your home qualifies that you're purchasing, then you'll be able to utilize the grants. The closing cost grant is very simple. It is based off of either your property or your income. If your income is $68,450 in most counties or less, you automatically qualify. If your home that you're purchasing is located in what's considered a low to moderate income tract, and again, that just means if the median income in that area that you're purchasing your home in is $88,000 or less, then that home would qualify. To find out if your home qualifies, you would go to the government website, which would be the FFIEC.gov, and that's Frank Igloo Elephant Cat.gov. Excuse me. You put your address in there, and it'll tell you if it's considered low or moderate. And if it says low or moderate, then it qualifies. If it says middle or upper, then it does not qualify. So the closing cost grant is that simple. Either the house qualifies or your income qualifies, one or the other. The down payment assistance is only qualified based off of a conventional loan, 3% down. You have to be able to qualify for a conventional loan. If you qualify for a conventional loan, which typically the main guidelines for conventional loans is credit scores typically about 660 with minimal delinquencies. You need your money for your escrows in some cases. And that's usually it. As long as you have that credit score and your debt to income ratio is under 50%, 47%, typically you can get approved for conventional. And if your income or your property qualifies, you'll automatically get the down payment assistance and the closing cost assistance. Closing costs is up to $7,500. So we'll use that to pay all your closing costs. We'll buy points to lower your interest rate. If we have to go with a program without the down payment assistance and we're using FHA, we'll pay for your upfront mortgage insurance. So we'll pay all your fees. The only fees we cannot pay for you is your escrows. So your escrows is the only thing we cannot pay for you. Everything else we can pay for you. With the down payment, that will be either 3% up to $10,000 towards your down payment. So again, it doesn't mean that you're buying a home in a bad area. You would be surprised. A quick story that I tell people is I was working with a lady.
Yeah, that story is a good story.
I think you might have heard it, but I was working with a lady and she was building a house. My branch is off of Cedar Springs and Knight, so it's in University Park. Well, University Park is so diverse. We have bums literally walking up and down the street. We have multimillionaires coming in. We have pro athletes coming in, and then you have your normal everyday middle class people who have, you know, 2 kids and a dog. So this lady comes in, and, you know, we're working up her numbers, and she is nickeling and diming me. And I'm just like, lady, she has about $700,000 saved away in her account. She's buying a house for like 600,000, 500,000 is what she's building. She's putting down like 150,000 on the house, but she's nickel and diming me over $191.66. She is going round and round with me over, she wanted her cost to be reduced by $191.66. So I'm sitting here going back and forth with her like, look, I've done all I can do. I can't do anything else for you. This is it. So she's like, well, you know, I'm gonna just shop around because, you know, I think I can get a better deal. So finally I'm like, you know what? That's what you want to do, fine. So we're still kind of going back and forth. So finally I thought about it. I said, you know what? Let me check just to see if this house qualifies. So while she's yapping at me about this $191.66, I throw it into the ffiec.gov website. Her house was considered in a moderate income area. But remember, it's a $600,000 house that she's building. And when I told her that, she's like, are you serious? She got the full $10,000 for the down payment. She also got the $7,500 for the closing costs. In her case, she can only, when you're putting down your own money on top of that, you can only have a total of 20% down. So you can only do 17% and we can do 3%. And so she ended up having to bring down her cash to bring it to 20%. But she was the happiest little lady in the whole wide world. But I was like tripping out like, lady, you got all this money. And I guess that's how they keep it. But I'm like, she got all this money and you nickel and diming me over $191.66. So, but in her case, you know, her and her husband, and it was just her on the loan. Her and her husband had a lot of money. They're building a $600,000 house right there in Dallas. It wasn't too far from my branch, and her house qualified. So the point is, never prejudge a property like I did in that case. And now I run it through every property I run it through, because it can be a McKinney, it can be a Frisco, it can be a South Lake. Every area has a area where people make less than $88,000. So don't prejudge. Don't think that, oh, well, if I get a house in the low to moderate income tract, it's going to be in a bad area, or, you know, it's going to be crime ridden or bad schools. That's not true. So that was the lesson that I learned from her that day, is not to prejudge an area or a property thinking that, oh, it won't qualify, because it just might. So other than that, you know, we have a list that we have of houses that's listed. We have houses that are $1 million houses that qualify for the program. So you can buy a house anywhere, but again, the down payment is only in the Dallas areas. Outside in Houston, it's in Houston too. I think Austin, but it's not in the Fort Worth cities. So anything other than the Fort Worth cities, you should be pretty good with.
Can you mind sharing that website again that they can go and check the census tract?
It's FFIEC. So Frank, Igloo, Elephant, Cat.gov.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Do Candace or Ebony, do you all have a question?
No, not at this time.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and tell you all a little about me. My name is Regina Thompson. I'm a realtor. I've been in the business for about 18 years now. I'm doing it now full time. So I have all this amazing time to myself. And so I'm just looking to build a business and get as many people as I can into a house. I want to be able to take all of you all. That's the purpose of the home buyer event today, to give you education and to answer any questions that you all may have with the home buying process. My role is, once you've spoken with Latara, gotten approved, then we will go out and find the property that best suits you, and we would submit an offer. In submitting an offer, you would need your earnest money. Typically is about $1,000. Then your option fee is typically $100, and the next step would be an inspection, which is typically about $375 to $400, and your appraisal fee, which is another. So to get started, you're looking at anywhere $2,000 to $3,000 just to get started once we go out and get accepted on a property. Once that happens, then you will go back to Latar, and you all would do to get all your paperwork in to ensure that you can qualify for this house. Typically, I think Latar would get all of that information up front before we actually go out, so that once we get that house, we can move forward right then and there and not have real problems with moving on and getting you closed. So you would request the W-2s and all of that up front, Latar?
Yep.
Okay.
When I do the loan application, I pre-qualify them. I'm gonna get, typically I need your most recent 2-year W-2s, your most recent 1-month bank statement, your one month pay stubs. If you don't bank with Bank of America, at least your last 2-month bank statements. So that's typically what I need up front. I collect all that up front so I can make sure that my pre-qualification is actually legitimate. So you're not looking for a house to find out that you can't qualify for it. So yes, I collect all of that up front.
Okay. And then it normally takes anywhere from 30 to 40 days to get closed on the property. When you go to closing, you would generally go to a title company. The title company has all of your information, and they communicate with both of us, with all 3 of us, to get you closed. I think I skipped something when I didn't tell you about the home inspection process. So during the home inspection, you would, once you're approved, we would do a home inspection for 7 days, 7 to 10 days. And you would go in and have that inspector to inspect the house, take a look at it to ensure that everything is in work in progress. And what you're not satisfied with, we would counter back to the seller to ensure that they fix those products that need to be fixed. Fix those things that need to be fixed, need to be repaired. We will move forward with the process. Looks like somebody else had joined, I'm sorry. Okay, so normally, like I said, it takes about 30 to 45 days to get you closed. It's an amazing process. You will have fun. We'll all have fun. There will be some times, some rocky roads, and that's a given. But it's not to give up. Anything worth having is worth fighting for. And I just don't want you to give up on the process because it may seem kind of rocky, because that's really a part of the real estate deal. You think everything is going smoothly, and then one day, the brakes come. But it's a fun process, and it's worth it. Every bit of it is worth it. So, do you all have any questions? Anybody?
No, ma'am, not at this time.
Ebony, you don't have any questions? What about you, Candace?
I do, but I'm gonna do one-on-one.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear you, Candace.
That was Ebony. I don't have any questions, but
Oh,
I think your audio keeps going in and out.
mine?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Could you hear me, any of it?
Yeah, whenever you said there was an option fee, I didn't get that number. How much that'd be?
Option fee is generally $100.
100.
Anywhere from $75 to $100.
Inspection is $375 to $400. Then you said approval fee. Then you went out again.
The appraisal is generally about $500.
$500. Okay.
Mm-hmm. $2,500 to $3,000 to just get started with the process.
So can I jump in here a little bit?
Sure.
So you said the process would be fun. It is fun when you're working with Eugenia. When you get to me, I usually get on your nerves, at least the first week. But so where Eugenia and I will work hand in hand. I explain our roles to my clients as we're your attorneys. So we're your attorneys. Our job is to defend you. Eugenia's job is to make sure you get the best deal on your home, make sure it's a sound investment, make sure it's a good property. My job is to make sure you get the best financing, you get the lowest interest rate, the best payments, and any programs and anything that's out there that you qualify for. It's my job to find that for you. I also tell my clients, we're the people you can tell us anything. You can't tell everybody else anything. You can't tell the underwriter, your processor, certain things, but you can tell us anything, and we'll tell you if that's something we can tell somebody else. So you can be completely honest with us, because we need honesty to know, so we know what we're getting into, to make sure that we know how to work your situation, or so that we know for a fact that, you know, it's going to work. But once you guys find your house with Eugenia, usually you start off with me, where you'll come to me and I'm gonna get you pre-qualified. So I'm gonna send you online, you'll fill out a loan application. I'm gonna go through that application with you. We're gonna go through interest rates. I will explain the closing costs, your escrows, the points, interest rates, all of that. By the time you're done with me, you're gonna understand how the mortgage side works. You'll be able to go back to Eugenia and say, okay, I'm pre-qualified for $250,000. So she knows that, okay, this is the limit that we're shopping for. So as you guys shop, whenever you find that house that you want to put that offer in, you'll shoot me a text or you'll give me a call and say, hey, I want to put an offer in on this house. It's going for $235,000. Well, then I'm gonna give you a pre-qual for $235,000, because we don't want the seller to see you qualify for $250,000. They're not going to negotiate with you. So I'll give you a pre-qual for $235,000. So like Eugenia said, you guys put the offer in, you'll work with her on that part. I would have already collected all your documents. So I would already have pretty much everything I need to get you started. Once you get that contract and it's executed, at that point, I'm locking in your loan. I can't lock in your loan until I have all your documents and until I have your executed contract. Once I have that, now we're cooking with gas. So again, I've already collected all your income docs. There are going to be some additional things that I may need that at that point, once the loan is locked, I'll be asking you for some other little small things. I'll get your loan over to underwriting. While I'm getting your loan prepared for underwriting, Eugenia is getting your inspection done and all that kind of stuff. So she's working on that side. I'm working on this side to get you to underwriting. Once you go to underwriting, where you have a physical person go through all your documentation and tells us that, yes, you are approved based off the documentation that you sent us. Underwriting is very important. So while we're your attorneys, the underwriter is the judge. So the underwriter is almost end all be all in a lot of cases. So our job is to collect all your documents, make it look real nice and pretty to tell the story for the underwriter. So when the underwriter gets it, they'll understand, you know, that maybe you were off work for a month, or maybe your income went down for 2 weeks and it's back up or whatever. So once we lock in your loan, we order your appraisal the next day. Our appraisals are a little bit more. Our appraisals are running about $678, especially right now with COVID. They're running about $678 to as high as $750. So our appraisals are running a little bit more than normal. But we order your appraisal. You give me a credit card number, debit card number to pay for your appraisal. We get that in the works the day when you lock. From there, after we get past underwriting, which is usually the first week I get on your nerves. I will be texting you. I will be emailing you. I will be calling you. And if you think you can ignore me, I will come to your job. I have your address. So
that's where I said, that's where I said it gets a little crazy. You think that the process is hard, because when you get with the lender, they worry you.
Yes, the first week I'm going to get on your nerves, because we have to close your loan in 30 days. And in order to do that, there's a timeline where I have to have everything in and everything in a certain spot in order to make sure I can get you closed in 30 days. Well, there's a lot of things that has to be done with your loan, and your loan goes through a lot of different people. So once it leaves me, it goes to the underwriter. Once it leaves the underwriter, it goes to a processor. When it gets to the processor, it's hitting insurance coordinators, it's hitting the title companies, then it's going to a closer, then it's going to a funder. So I have to make sure my job is done up front so the underwriter can do their job. So everybody is dependent on someone else doing their job. And if one of us fail on our job, your close date is hit. So I have to stay on top of everybody because I'm the frontliner. So if you don't close on time, Eugenia's gonna be in my face like, girl, what happened? Or y'all gonna be looking at me like, well, you said I was gonna close. So I gotta make sure that everybody is doing their jobs so that we can make our close date. So the process will be annoying the first week and a little bit after it comes out of underwriting. I don't get on your nerves that much after underwriting. By the time we get out of underwriting, you guys like me again. So you'll like me up front, you will hate me that first week, but then we're friends again. Once I tell you your loan is approved, guess what? I don't need nothing else from you. I actually don't have to talk to you no more until we get to closing. Then you're like, okay, you're my friend again. So that's the most difficult part, is collecting documents and me having to keep asking you for stuff, because you'll send me something like your bank statements. But then I see on your bank statements, you have a deposit for $2,000. Well, now I need to find out, where did that deposit come from? So now I got to come back to you to say, hey, where did this come from? And you say, oh, well, this was a check I got from wherever. And then I'm like, okay, well, I need a copy of that check. And I need you to write an explanation for it. So it's a lot of back and forth based off the information that you give me. It raises more questions for me to ask for more things from you. But once we get past that first week, like I said, it's smooth sailing from there. Everything goes pretty much according to plan. And I'm one, if you do what I tell you and get what I ask you, then we're good. We will be good and there won't be any problems. But when it takes a long time to get you to send me something, then that's when we will start to run into problems. Then I got to tattletale to Eugenia, like, girl, she won't get this, or can you ask him to do that? So that's the main part of it, is just get what I need within 24 hours. You won't have any problems with closing on time.
Hi, Danita. Thank you for joining. Can you hear me? Or looks like she's connected to a different phone. But thank you for joining. I'll send you the video so that you can listen to all of this again, since you came in kind of late on the call, and you can be able to hear the things that LaTara said earlier, about the different programs, down payment assistance programs and closing cost assistance programs, grants that are available that will assist you in the home buying process as well. But do you all have any questions? Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there any questions? Any concerns? Thank you all. I'm gonna do a drawing for a gift card tomorrow online, on Facebook, and then whoever wins, then I'll get that over to you all. If I have to mail it or meet you in person, I'll get it to you. Can you send me can you put your email address in the chat box, just so I'll have it, so I can email you the winner, to get them the information, to get them the prize. Okay, Candace, I have yours. Oh, you didn't already claim you the winner, really? Ebony, okay. Yeah, I see you manifest that win. SCXK@gmail. Okay, Danita, I guess you're on like a landline or something where you can't really communicate. But my phone number is 214-924-5654. If you can email me, I'm sorry, if you can text me your information, then I'll have it. I guess that's it, you guys. I thank you all so much for joining. This was a great experience for me. I hope it was a great experience for you all as well. I look forward to working with you all. Nothing?
Thank you, Eugenia, for putting this together. You were amazing. You did a good job, Miss. I'm so nervous.
We'll do this again.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely do this again. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a great
Bye,
day.
everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Gives everybody all
Bye.
the